just looking at pre-season as a whole, how's it gone for you? Because you've had some good wins, you've had some good performances. I know it doesn't mean much now because they always say that, but just sum up how pre-season's gone.
Yeah, I think in terms of the results, you can't ever look at it too much. I mean, I'd rather have lost tonight and then win next week than be speaking to you or someone else from the team next week and off the back of a defeat. So in reality, the results, whilst you always want to win every game of football you go into, it's not the be all and end all. But what we have done is we've put on a structured programme where every player's managed to get 90 minutes in the locker, towards the back end of pre-season. We've done that in a, like I say, a really structured way, which hopefully means that physically we're in a good place. And yeah, ultimately we just can't wait to get going now next week.
Yeah, FC United away, couldn't have asked for a tougher tie in reality going into it, but is it good to get them out of the way early on?
Yeah, well obviously we had a really good day there in March with a tremendous win, and it was a big win for us as well in the context of sort of, I think we'd been 4 without a win at that point and we really needed a win. So I'm sure that'll be part of the manager's team talk prior to the game, remembering that. Obviously it wasn't too long ago, but we listen, we'll go there excited, playing in front of what will be maybe a couple of thousand or something like that. What better way to start the season? Yeah,
and then the Tuesday it's Russia Olympic. They were relegated last season. A bit surprised to be put into this division, I think, from a lot of people, but you come here and you've got a bit of a score to settle with them from Senior Cup finals.
Well, yeah, of course. We've obviously played each other a few times in that competition. They'll be a good team, obviously their team will be relatively new, but they'll be a strong team. They've got a good manager and they've obviously recruited from the outside what looks like very well. So, I'm sure they'll be very strong as well. It's a tough ask the first few games. It's a tough beginning to the season.
It is, and just looking at the season as a whole, I guess you don't want to mention your targets, but have you set targets for the lads as to where you want to finish this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the second half of last season, over that 21 games, we were miles better than what ultimately our league position in the first 21 games was. So, we want to try and continue that momentum. The group know each other pretty well. We've got a good cohesion within the group. But I think, ultimately what we didn't do too well last year was, in terms of our start, we didn't pick enough points up in games that we were actually in. I remember playing Mickle over here, funnily enough, 1-1 with 5 minutes to go and we lost 3-1. 4 days later we played Gainsborough, 1-1, 93rd minute, we lost the game. So, we lost points early on in the season from games that we were well within. So I think in the first block of 6 games we want to try and amass more points than what we did last year ultimately and see where we're at.
And finally, what about the FA Cup and the FA Trophy? You had a great run a couple of seasons ago. Even last season, though it ended quite early, you still had a good day out at Kidderminster and could have snatched something there.
Yeah, everyone wants an FA Cup run, don't they? And again, Mickle overbeat us in the FA Trophy last year, so we want to do better than what we did last year in that. We didn't put on much of a showing in that competition. That was a really disappointing day. So yeah, of course, we always want to try and have cup runs. It's obviously good for the club in terms of both sort of financially, but also for the supporters to have something else to get excited about.
Just quickly, a message for the supporters heading into next Saturday's game at FC United and the season ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they'll be supporting us in numbers again. They were brilliant with us last year, given how poor we started, and I think we didn't win here in the first 6, if I remember rightly. So they were amazing. They stuck with us. They remained patient. In the end, they were rewarded for that patience. So yeah, we just urge them to come and support us as they've done, and trust the process and try and hopefully come down and enjoy watching a style of football which we've obviously looked to implement now over a period of time.